Hey, it's Timmy here. So today I'll come back to you with a different video, now talking about the Asian hate, a very long debated topic that I actually touched on before in one of my blog posts, but I have never talked about that in any of my YouTube video. So today I'll definitely make a video about that. About racism, especially towards the Asian people. So this whole topic was actually very prominent around the time of the COVID-19 and the pandemic around late 2019 and 2020. And even before the pandemic actually took place, Asian hate was already a topic of concern, not only for Asian students, for international students in general, but also for Vietnamese students in particular, in my case, a Vietnamese student. The hate that we usually encountered mostly came from Aboriginal people who were the people that were indigenous to the Australian land, even before the Aussie came over to take over. And also the law in Australia, it is very protective of the Aboriginals because the Aboriginals were the original owner of the land where the Aussie are currently living. And the whole situation is actually very complicated, and I'm not very educated on that matter, to say the least. So I am not going to say any further about this because I do not have much knowledge regarding the Aboriginals and things related to that aspect. But there's one thing I know is that the law, yes, is very protective of them. And it is very hard for international students, especially Asian students, to, report on any harassments or any, disturbance coming from that community of Aboriginal people. So that was one of the reasons why we experience a lot of racism coming from that community. And maybe for some other reasons as well, but I don't know. And another story I want to share with you is that Aboriginal people usually congregate or they are usually concentrated around the communities of Vietnamese people. The reason why is that most Vietnamese students they assume that because the Vietnamese communities in Melbourne, which are usually on the line of Sunshine or around Footscray and West Footscray areas in Melbourne, those are communities with a quite low living standard. So all the foods and all the necessities sold at those places are usually much cheaper, and that was assumed to be one of the contributing factors to the whole picture of why the Aboriginals usually came to those areas to stay, to live. And there have been so many incidents where the Vietnamese students and also the Vietnamese people who had lived in Australia for their entire life were actually harassed and were sexually, harassed. And we also had some of our stuff stolen by the Aboriginals. And when some of the students reported that encounter with the police officers, they didn't receive much support beside the little help if the whole incident actually happened in front of the police officer's face. Then they're going to maybe try to mediate the situation by, separating the groups of people like the Aboriginals and the Vietnamese students. Otherwise, if that whole situation doesn't happen in front of them, they're not going to care much about that, and it is going to be what it is, and you are very disadvantaged when it comes to reporting issues like that related to the Aboriginals. So you need to be extra careful, especially when you are going to the Vietnamese communities. Like most of the time, people go there to buy foods because the foods are much cheaper. And if you are Asian students, chances are you go there to find the Asian produce, yeah, to buy, and it is very cheap and it is everywhere around Footscray and those areas. So there is only one tip I have for you is to always travel with your friends and around the daylight. Don't travel late because those people can lurk around, like uh, blind spots around the train station, so you are not going to notice them when you leave the train station until the point where you are like completely out of sight, and the police officers, they are usually inside the train station, so they are not going to help you if you are outside of the train station. And those people, they know, those racist people, they know, so they're going to hide behind, like blind spots until you get to that corner, and then they're going to show themselves, and they're going to harass you, they're going to attack you. And they usually come in groups, and their figure is much larger and much more stripping than the Asian students. So you are definitely at disadvantage here. So yeah, always go in the daylight because they're not going to do much if it is bright in the morning and the sun is out. And also, if you go with a group of friends, then you are going to be much safer. So that is my only advice for you, to always go with your friends when you are out. And you can report to the police officer if you experience any of the incidents that I just shared, which I wish not any of you guys would experience that, because that is horrible. And I've read so many things similar to what I just shared in like all the Facebook groups of Vietnamese students staying in Melbourne and also in Australia in general. So definitely look out for that. And not everyone is racist, but it is better for you to be careful. And you can encounter racist people anywhere and everywhere. So please be careful when you are joining all the like public transport. Like when you are on a bus, there would sometimes be groups of Aboriginal students or local students even attacking you, or just being racist in general. So yeah, it happens everywhere. So be careful, and that is all I've got to share in this video. And if you have any other questions regarding this racism issue, definitely let me know in the comment section, and I will get back to you guys very soon. Anyways, cheers, bye!